Hi, this is Eric Nelsen from 1883 and Gettysburg 1863, and you're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios,
you're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this special episode of Addressing Gettysburg. And today I have a treat for you, especially if you are a fan of the series 1883. You might have also seen, let's see here, The Bay, Cottonmouth, Trail of Vengeance, The Gringo Hunters, so a lot of things. His name is Eric Nelsen. He is an actor, producer, and he learned to play guitar for the soundtrack of a movie. And he's with us today. Oh, and he's also going to be in Gettysburg 1863, which is why he's here. Otherwise, I couldn't get people like this. Eric, thanks for coming and doing this.
Thank you so much for having me, Matt.
So we were talking last night at dinner and want to revisit some of those things there because I think it's an interesting story. You were one of these people who started acting as a kid.
Yeah.
And you knew you wanted to do it and you went ahead and did it. How old were you when you started?
Professionally, we moved to New York City the day after my 13th birthday.
Where were you born?
West Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay, go.
And I started doing little talent competitions down in South Florida. Long story short, got scouted for a job in New York with my brother, and we were off to the races. We got there, and I booked the very first audition I ever went out on, and it just kind of was this snowball effect that I didn't come from a family of entertainers. There was no pressure on me to do it. So it was just this like fun thing that I fell into that one day I realized like, oh, this is my profession and I'm going to do this forever.
So you say fun. I remember I was in a play in grammar school and the audience, being in front of the audience was terrifying. Now, when I was in band, I didn't mind it. I liked that, but because I was more my comfort zone. But when I tried to do a play, I was no. So did you find it that way, or was it exciting the first time you went in front of an audience?
It was thrilling, and I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, and
it was like my crack. Like the more I did it, and the more I was out there, the more I wanted to do it.
Okay,
and I'm one of six, middle child. You know, my older brother was the star athlete, and my sister had her thing going on. So I was kind of like just floating around.
Okay,
until I found the arts, and it was something that was like really mine. And something that I naturally excelled at in some departments, and others, like singing, for instance, I had to work really hard at it. But it was just something that came to me naturally, and it was my thing, and I could just put all my chips on it, and nobody else in my family, nobody else really in my life could, get in the way of that or overshadow it, or it was my thing. And so it brought me so much joy. So I just kind of just kept going with it.
So when was the first time you were on camera for work?
So the first time I was on camera, first job I ever booked was a voiceover job for this Cost Cutters, which is like these hair salons around the United States.
I think we had those in New Jersey.
And I was 13.
Okay.
It was the first audition I ever went out on professionally. And then the first TV job I did was on Guiding Light, CBS soap opera from way back in the day. And I was probably 14.
14 is when you were on Guiding Light?
Yes.
So we were talking a little bit about that last night in that, because I've always wondered how soap operas are made. Because I remember as a little kid, my mother watched Days of Our Lives. And, in those days, we didn't have any laptops or phones or iPads or anything like that. And at least in our family, there was one TV in the house.
Yeah.
And we all sat around it and watched it. And the parents chose what went on. Right. And so during the day when mom's ironing, she's watching Days of Our Lives,
which is still running, by the way.
I know. It's insane.
It's nuts.
And a lot of the people who were on then are on now, but they're like the elders, I think.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, because they're old. But I just, even as a kid, I was like, how do they do this? Because, unlike a sitcom or any other drama, any other kind of show, there's a season and then there's a break. And then this next season comes on, a year later or whatever. Not with a soap opera. They go through the whole year. I mean, there's Christmas episodes, the whole thing. How do they do that? And how do the actors stay with that job for as long as they often do? And how did you, as a 14-year-old, how were you able to jump into that? Because first of all, tell everybody how intensive that work is, and then how, as a 14-year-old, you were able to do it.
Well, it's the craziest medium in entertainment by far. You're shooting 100 pages a day, whereas, you shoot a feature film is about 100 pages and you take a month, sometimes 3 months, depending on how big the budget is.
So wait, when you're saying you shoot 100 pages a day, you're saying each actor has 100 pages, or the episode is 100 pages?
The episode.
Okay.
And oftentimes you'll shoot like two episodes, 3 episodes in one day.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. You'll literally fly through 100 pages within, 9.
Wow.
However many hours they can shoot you, probably 10 hours. And 30 pages of your own dialogue that you're memorizing every single day. You get one chance because they don't have time. You get one take. They give you like a half-assed rehearsal to talk through like how you're supposed to do it when you do it. And then they're like, all right, just go. And you're like, God help me. Just thrown into the lion's den. And I hope this goes okay. I think, I talk about this all the time, but I'm like, I think that's why soap actors get such a bad rap. They're like, oh, they're such cheesy acting. I was like, well, you try shooting 100 pages a day, 30 pages you have to have memorized that they oftentimes have rewritten by the time you're about to shoot it and have no time to prepare.
Right.
Let me see how you act.
Well, and also the material is cheesy.
And it's written that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Shakespeare.
It's not Shakespeare.
Like it's kind of corny. And then some of the, Hollywood, when they make a movie that takes place around a soap opera or something, and they show like it being made or something, and the looks. Oh yeah. As they look away and the camera dollies in and everything like that, and it's like super corny, super cheesy. Yeah. Obviously, it's red meat for housewives, right? Like, oh yeah, they love that stuff.
I can't tell you how many women have come up to me like, I scheduled all of my college classes around. I was on All My Children for a while. And they're like, all my college classes were scheduled around All My Children, so I could watch you guys every day.
Jesus,
it's crazy.
Yeah, my mother and my grandmother, they would, have a. Did you watch the stories today? They call them the stories. My grandmother did.
And the stories, if you stopped watching 25 years ago, are the exact same.
They really are.
Like they have not progressed storyline wise.
No.
He's still sick. She's still looking for her money. It's like all the same shit.
Yeah. Marlene is still possessed by the devil.
Yes.
It's terrible, terrible. But it's great work. And I would imagine it is great boot camp for a young actor.
Exactly. So as a young actor who I was doing theater at the time, it is a lot like theater because it's live. You get one chance really, and then you're moving on. So it's like a perfect progression from stage to TV to film. You go from theater to soaps, which is very similar to theater, but it's the hardest thing you can do in television. So anything from the soap opera after that feels like a walk in the park.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, we're spending 4 days on these 2 scenes? And like how they do in primetime television. Sure. Like, I'm going to be a star. Like, this sounds so easy.
You're giving me a chance. Yeah.
So it was great training.
So how long were you on, how long were you doing soaps for altogether? And was it from one to the other?
No, I had some time in between. Guiding Light was kind of my first thing. It sucked because I got on Guiding Light, who the character was born on the show. Kevin Ross Marler comes from like a dynasty family on the show, and he'd been recast like 3 or 4 times as he got older. And then I got on, and then the show got canceled.
Of course.
So I was supposed to have this long run on Guiding Light that didn't. I got on. My mom died in an episode, and it was like boom, the show got pulled. So that didn't last long. And then I did little guest spots on shows here and there, and was still doing theater. And then did a Broadway musical called 13 with Ariana Grande and all these superstars now. And that was amazing. And right after that, All My Children, which had been running on ABC forever, got pulled off the air. Well, the fans in the world were so up in arms about it that this new medium called Hulu came around. No one knew that watching television on your laptop or streaming was going to be anything. People thought it was crazy. Yeah. Well, they bought the rights and they reimagined All My Children, and we were one of the first Hulu shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And they aged the younger characters. They brought in like me to be AJ Chandler, who was like a little boy, but they're like, if we target like this,
the people who remember.
Yes. But also to bring in a younger generation of fans and viewers.
Yeah.
Cause this, they wanted to try to bring in new people,
right?
Fans. And so they cast all of us, and we were rocking and rolling. I mean, I love saying we were the number one show on Hulu for a while, because we were, but there also wasn't.
But you were the only show.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
And nobody, I think it was just like a week before its time. Hulu just wasn't taking off yet, and let alone downloading a streaming service to watch a soap opera. And the target audience for soaps were like middle-aged women that were in middle America, that it just didn't appeal to them. No matter how much they loved the show, they couldn't get behind the whole online thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so despite being success on Hulu, Oprah's network owned, they picked it up too. So we also aired on there.
Simultaneously or?
Yeah, simultaneously.
Okay.
But it ultimately,
See, but that's got to be an advantage though, because I've noticed like there's some shows that are on, say, HBO Max. I'm like totally streaming. I don't have cable anymore. I got rid of it like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't miss it one bit. I don't even know what network television looks like nowadays. Like, I don't even know what shows are still on, what not. I don't know. Friends, I think, was the last show I remember.
You're not alone.
Yeah. No, I'm not. And so I've noticed that there are shows that are HBO shows, but then I go over to my Amazon Prime account and there it is as well.
Yeah.
So that's got to be good though for the shows.
It's good and bad.
Okay.
For the industry as a whole. Network TV is dying. It's kind of the sad realization that, the industry's coming to. Everyone's just watching streaming. So your primetime NBC, CBS, there's maybe like 3 multicam sitcoms running right now. Maybe there used to be like 20.
Yeah. Now they're doing them on Netflix.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's bad that network TV is dying, because actors don't get paid nearly what they do on streaming as they do on network television.
Right.
Because of the whole residual thing.
Yeah.
Network TV, we ironed out amazing contracts for actors to get residuals every time it airs on television. Well, with streaming, they're not really able to gauge the clicks.
They're not telling you what you're getting.
They're not telling
you your views.
We know it is 100 times more views because everybody's streaming.
Of course, and rewatching.
And rewatching over and over and over, because it's so easy to just binge. And yet you're getting paid way less money.
That is not fair, and there will come a time where they're going to have to figure out a way to compensate you guys for that, the way they did in television, because that wasn't always the way in television either.
Correct.
And then people had to stand up for themselves and demand better treatment financially. So, and that will happen someday. I don't know when, and I don't know what's going to do it, but my fear is that when that point comes, they're going to say, well, we could just use AI.
That's the issue. So the actors, we all just went on strike not too long ago.
Yeah.
And it lasted over 100 days.
I remember that.
And the AI thing was a big part of that. The online residuals was a big part of that. And the network execs just sat back and they're like, these are struggling artists. They're not going to be able to last forever. We'll just let them fizzle out. And then when they're ready to come back to work, they'll tell us. And we'll pretend like this never happened. So we don't know how we're going to overcome this. But I
think the law, like the federal government's going to have to get involved somehow, which I don't like the idea of, but I think they're going to have to, you guys are going to have to lobby them to step in on your behalf and do what I don't know, because I'm not that smart. But if I were, I would have figured it out by now.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's what it's going to have to be.
Something. Yeah, it's going to have to.
Because I mean, and honestly, they could go the AI route if they wanted to. I give it like 3 years tops before people start going, I want to see a real person again. Because as good as that is, it's still not the same.
No, agreed. And it's, it's not human emotion. It's not human connection.
No.
It's like, I can go down this rabbit hole of AI right now because it's just so on the forefront of our industry. And recently, it's the craziest thing. In I think it's Zurich, Switzerland, they had this big film conference and they released and announced this new actress. You can look up her name. I forget what it is. This AI actress. And they just announced that one of the biggest, I think it's going to be CAA, just signed this AI actress, or one of the big agencies, and they're going to start this whole division of AI talent that can go and be in these projects.
So what do you mean just signed? Who did they sign? The creator of the AI actress?
Yes, so they own the likeness of this AI. So it's the craziest thing.
So in other words, wait, this is like a regular guy just creates this AI actress, and then the studios say, hey, we want to sign you or her?
Yeah, this business is generating AI talent. Big agency like CAA, they said it's one of the top, recognized where everything's going and was like, okay, this is the AI actress we want control of, and we're going to incorporate that into the industry somehow.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know how you're going to pay an AI actress, because
you pay the person who created the actress.
Yeah.
But then okay, so I'm guessing then it's like the guy who created the AI actress gets a gig and they pay him to make the actress say the lines in the way they want it said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm the director and I say, Eric, creator of, Chesty Love or whatever.
Yeah.
I want you to make her do this, walk this way. I want her to say the line, but I want her to say the line like this or something like, and then you got to go back to your computer and make that happen.
No.
At Digital History Pioneers Foundation, we are about grassroots history on digital platforms. That means we are about podcasters, documentarians, YouTubers, and even TikTokers. All of these creators are out there trying to share their love of history with the public. They don't need ideas, they need funding, both from viewers and corporate donors. DH Pioneers' initial funding focus is on the Civil War era, with a special emphasis on the Addressing Gettysburg podcast. So be a vital part of the unique content Addressing Gettysburg has in store by donating at dhpioneers.com and help bring your love of history to the people. Digital History Pioneers is an IRS Section 501c3 approved charitable corporation that makes any donation tax deductible to the fullest extent of the law.
No?
She's already programmed. She's already got all that. So the director, you basically can talk to her and she'll just do what you tell her to do.
Oh, no. Shit. Like, she's like a robot.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all.
No, it's crazy.
I don't like it at all.
And she's already been in a couple commercials, and you wouldn't even know, she's AI.
Yeah, but you kind of do, though. I haven't seen what you're talking about, but there's some things I've seen where it's they say this is AI, and I'm like, wow, that looks really real. And then there's that one blink or weird face, and that's what it is. It's facial movements.
Yeah.
Because we have 6,000 at once that go on, and AI maybe has 3.
No, it's more like a Beverly Hills housewife, too much Botox to have more than one look on your face.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have people like that too.
Yeah, we do. That's another thing I'll never understand is that plastic surgery. All right, so let's get to 1883.
Yeah.
Because I loved that series. And I told you this in the car last night. It wasn't just because we were hanging out. But I really did enjoy the character you played. I always forget how to pronounce it. Ennis or Enos?
Ennis. Yeah.
I liked that character because it was he was really the only cheery person in the whole entire cast, right? All the other characters were feeling the life they were living.
Yeah.
Right? Or had lived or whatever. But you were kind of just on an adventure. And I thought that was refreshing. But that was your idea.
Yes, it was. When I read the script, first of all, I never cried so much reading something in my whole life.
Well, the end is pretty rough.
And I, had a 2-year-old daughter. And so reading that father-daughter, it just wrecked me.
Yeah, dude, I don't even have kids, but I couldn't watch that scene.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't know what was happening to my character until I read the scripts.
Oh.
I thought I was trotting through this entire show.
Oh, no.
I got a call that I was going to be a lead on the show, which in my mind tells me I'm going to be a lead till the end.
Right.
That didn't happen, but it was all, prearranged.
By the way, in case you haven't seen 1883 yet, we'll probably have some spoilers in here, so you might want to skip this part.
Yes. And if you haven't seen it yet, that's your own fault.
Yeah, it's been out long enough.
Yeah, it has. Anyway, what was I saying?
You were saying you thought you were going to be on it for the long haul.
Oh yeah, and then so I read the scripts and I found out that what happened and whatever, and
he dies
tragically. But I also recognized that will be the most talked about thing in the whole season, because they've built this love story, and the lead girl, you're just so connected to her. This amazing thing happens in her life, and which is Ennis. They have this beautiful blossoming love story in the most tragic of environments, tragic of days, trying to wagon train it all the way up, the United States at the scariest time. You got Comanche Indian, the whole thing. And it's just one piece of beauty that happens. And then it just gets taken away from you in the middle of the season. But it was so powerful, and I recognized how, captivating that will be for audiences. So I was like, oh my God, yes, I'd like to make it to the end, but this is going to be more amazing because this is going to be the thing everybody focuses on. And I also recognized when I read it that it is so dark. It is so, intense. It really, he doesn't Hollywoodify the experience to make it easier for the viewer. Like, you're watching what happened. It is hard to watch at times. But I saw him as this opportunity to kind of go against the grain of the show a little bit and, be somebody that pops on and you can like take a breath of fresh air for a second.
Right.
Like,
we're going to have a fun little time right now while he's on.
Yeah. He's going to make you laugh. He'll make you smile. You're going to root for him.
Yeah.
Everything else, you're just praying survives.
So how old were you when you did that?
So, I'm 34. We did that in 2021. So, I mean, how many?
What year is this?
What year are we in right now?
You were 30?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what age were you two supposed to be playing?
It was never officially written, but early 20s.
Early 20s.
For me.
Okay.
She was probably supposed to be a little young.
Teens, like 18, 19, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said to you last night was that the reason I liked typically when there's a love story, I can't care less. Like, you know what I mean? Like I zip past it. But what I thought was refreshing about the love story between Ennis and Elsa was that it reminded me of puppy love. Like when I was a young man and you just happen to meet a girl that you didn't expect to meet and you kind of get smitten with each other. That's such a great feeling. And of course that wears off as you get older and it becomes different. It's still nice, but it's not the same as it is when you're like in high school,
Sure, yeah.
And that's what it reminded me of. And I thought that was nice because usually, especially nowadays, like everything is immediately, it goes to this like tawdry, like they're sleeping with each other right away. And not that that's not fun, but like, it kind of gets old.
Yeah.
Like
and it very much could have been that, you read the script and you're like, oh, he's this hardened cowboy. Sam Elliott's character chooses him to help them on this journey. So he's obviously done this before. He's got experience. He's strong, he's independent. Like he could have been that like, leading man, like gruff, like intense thing easily from when I read it. Sure. But, like you, I was like, that's been done so many times. What about the reverse of that in that intense world? Yeah. And it happened to Taylor Sheridan, God bless him. He was like, yep, ride with it. And it worked.
Did you see him as a little crazy? Maybe crazy is not the right word, but
Taylor?
No. Ennis.
Oh, Ennis? I didn't see him as crazy. I saw him as experienced and as well-versed as he was in the West. And, having done this, also very innocent and naive. I played, like, I didn't think he had relationships before. I had that cowboy counterpart. His character was Wade, played by James Landry Abair, amazing actor. And I was like, he's a brother to me. I think my family got killed off. He's kind of, basically been a father figure / brother to me. And I'm just living every day to better our lives and, follow his lead until she comes in. And then all of a sudden I'm not living for him anymore. I have found something new and something shiny and beautiful and perfect. And I just never thought I'd see something like that. So I think it was more just like a ignorance to, what else the world had to offer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not making sense.
No, I understand what you're saying. I get it. It is a little, you are rambling a bit, but I understand.
No, it's an innocent
I'm
thing.
just kidding.
He's not crazy, okay?
Yeah, no.
I'm getting like sensitive
No,
about it.
because at first, when he first came in, I wasn't sure if he was a menacing force or if he was genuinely, because I've seen the characters in Westerns before where this guy comes out of nowhere and he's all charm and all like, hey, just like, and kind of comes off as naive and innocent and fun loving, but really that's just to let you or get you to let your guard down.
Right.
Right.
He's conniving. He's manipulative.
Yeah. So I was waiting for that moment and then it didn't happen. And I was like, oh, this is just really the way this character is.
A lot of fans stop me and say, in the beginning, I didn't think I was going to like you, but you flipped me.
No, that was good. That was a good character. Very good. You should be proud of that. That was very good.
Thank you.
Now, you also have scenes with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill and Sam Elliott, one of my favorites.
Ugh.
Did you notice him in the beginning?
From the Gettysburg
Not
Museum
this.
of History Studios.
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Oh my gosh.
It's a sound alike.
God, it sounds
not really.
like him. Man.
I know. It's not him, though.
But you're like, I need a Sam Elliott voice sound for this intro.
Well, because he's in the movie Gettysburg.
That's incredible.
And everybody knows that voice.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best voices ever.
And it's just as amazing in person as it is on camera and the screen. Although sometimes it's hard to understand him because he's kind of got the mumbles, and he's older now, the whole thing. And so like, I don't care what he said. I never really knew, but I was like, yep. I just went along with it and smiled. I was like, you're freaking Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, that is the most gracious, giving, wonderful man I have ever worked with. He was a true leader and role model on that set for everyone.
Yeah.
There's a great story. I tell it a lot to people, but I don't know if I've ever told it on camera or anything. But anyway, this is day one of filming, and we're shooting day 1 or 2, week 1 for sure. And we're shooting in this restaurant saloon in Granbury, Texas, and ton of extras. It's the scene where Sam Elliott's character and we sit down at the table, and he's basically like, we need you to bring us. And we're like, no, I don't think so. He's like, no, please. And there's a bunch of extras in Texas that have never worked in film or anything like that. Everyone's, Tim McGraw's in the scene, everybody's there. And this one girl, who's probably like 18 years old, his only job was at the very beginning to come over, pour us water, and then walk away. Well, the poor thing was so nervous. We've spent hours rehearsing, getting it right. The smoke is finally right. The haze, the this, the that, set's ready. Finally ready to roll the camera. Action. She comes in. She's shaking so bad. She spills the water over everyone. We're wet. Like it's a mess. And you just see the life get sucked out of this poor girl. And Sam's like, stop. And I was so nervous. I was like, this is the moment. He's either going to prove who he is, or this could go bad. This could go really bad. Yeah. This is going to take time, and we don't have time. And stop. He takes the girl into the corner. He's like, just give me some time. Felt like they were talking for 3 hours. It might've been 5 minutes, but whatever was said, he comes back, he sits down. He's like, all right, let's try again. We got dried up. He's like, let's try it again. She came over. She was perfect. She walked out and did her thing. Oh. He went over there. He made himself a human being. Yeah. Said, I'm just as nervous as you are. Give her a big old hug and said, trust me, you're not alone right now. And just converse with her. Yeah. It's like this legend. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but you're just a person. And he did that for her. And that from that moment on, that the rest of it was day after day, he'd be doing things like that to just prove what kind of guy and man he really is. That's
pretty cool. Because some people would probably
get someone else. Yeah. Let's do this one more time. Yeah,
Can we get somebody who knows how to pour f***ing water?
Exactly. Right, yeah. Happens all the time. Yeah. You spend a lot of time prepping, and then once the cameras are rolling, something that small should not ruin. You know what I mean? Yes. In some actors' minds, it could be a big deal. but not old Sammy.
Old Sammy. So I thought he was great in that. Just everybody was really great in that. But Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh,
that scene with Billy Bob Thornton was just so good.
Dude, we had no idea. I had no idea who was going to be working on the show. When I got the call that Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, and Sam Elliott, I lost it. And then it's like the day before, I'm like, so who's playing, like, I think we got Billy for that one or something. I'm like, Billy who? Billy Bob Thornton, and like so casually throwing out there. I was like, what? You got to prep me for these things. I can't just show up one day and Billy Bob's thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then that day Tom Hanks showed up.
Yeah.
For one line.
Were you there for that? Did you go to see that?
I went there. Yeah. I wasn't in the scene, but I was like, I got pictures with him and talked to him for a long time. People don't know this. Him and Tim McGraw have been best friends for the last 25 years.
You're kidding me.
No,
I never knew
when
that.
Tim's in LA, he stays at Tom's house. Like they are
really
that tight, and their wives are tight. It's this amazing friendship that no one really knows about.
Huh.
And
well, now they do.
Tim was the reason Tom Hanks got on the show.
That makes sense.
He called him up. He's like, I've never asked you to do anything, for me in the industry. He's like, I'm doing this really cool show. Would you just make a cameo? He's like, Tom Hanks didn't blink an eye. He's like, of course, just tell me when to be there.
Wow.
So I was like, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. What about the decision to have real life husband and wife play husband and wife? What was that about?
Taylor Sheridan is so smart. I mean, he really, really is all about authenticity in his work. He's looking for actors, and he surrounds himself with people that are from the world. He wanted to make sure we all had Western experience. We're comfortable with horses. And he took a chance on Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Tim had done some great acting before. Mm-hmm. We've seen him on camera, but Faith, we really haven't. And he just knew in his heart of heart, he's like, this is husband and wife. This needs to, like, you can't replicate that kind of relationship. They're going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And they were.
Right.
I like for Taylor to see that, because there was a lot of skepticism coming into it, like online, like Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, come on, Taylor, you're selling out.
I got to exactly my thought was like, no.
Yeah.
But then first of all, I didn't recognize either one of them at first. And then I was like, oh, that's them. You're right. It did actually, and I don't know if this is because I know they're married, but it did kind of feel more like the couple, the Duttons that we're looking at here, are actually married.
Yeah.
Whereas when they're not married, it feels kind of play acting. Mm-hmm. So he was right. It worked. But yes, I probably like everybody else, I was like, Faith Hill, Tim McGraw. How's that going to work?
Yeah.
Very well is the answer. That worked very well. It really was such a great series. And it was a slow burn. I like a good story that's a slow burn sometimes. Mm-hmm. You have these good punctuations of terror and things like that. But the story in between, you're just waiting. When's the next horrible thing going to happen?
Yeah.
Like Ennis getting killed.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming at all.
The coolest part too is we were filming in the locations where the story was actually taking place. So like the story opens in the famous Fort Worth stockyards back in the day. We shot in the Fort Worth stockyards. When we're on the trail, we're in the places that the story is taking place. And you never get to do that.
Yeah. So you weren't like on some ranch and just using different spots on the ranch to represent these things. Like you were actually going to these states and everything along the way.
100%, which is...
Well, I mean, you can tell Texas from Montana,
yeah.
Obviously.
But normally you're in the back of Warner Brothers lot, in some blacked out box pretending like you're on the plains of wherever. But no, we got to be there. We immersed ourselves in the world. We're, my best friends on the shoot were the cattle and the horses. Like we're spending every waking moment with our livestock and our actors and with nature. It was just unbelievable.
That's got to make it almost, I'm going to guess, easier to do your job as an actor when you don't have to pretend that you're in an environment that you're not in.
Correct.
Right?
And that's really what he wanted.
Yeah.
And that's why he sent us to a cowboy camp, a training camp before we even started filming, to ride horses every day, to learn how to, work cattle. We even learned how to rope. Use the guns and stuff that we're all going to use. So by the time we got there, the last thing we're thinking about is how am I going to get my horse to here on that line, pushing this cattle there while I'm supposed to be in this scene. Like, he didn't want us to think about that. And he immersed us. He had chuck wagons every day. We were eating the food that you would eat back then.
That. Oh.
And then we finally get out there, and he uses really long lensed cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't even know where the cameras are. There's like 8 of them around us, but we don't feel them. We don't see them. So when we're having these scenes, it's as if she and I are in a field with our horses and cattle with no one else in the world there. And that's why the performances were what they were.
How do they communicate? I've always wondered that. Like, how do they communicate with you? Do you have an earpiece or something? Or how are they letting you know what to do?
No, they'll have, somebody in a bush somewhere with a walkie-talkie that's like getting, things like, okay, we're going to, and then he runs away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The scenery is beautiful in that whole series. It's just really a great series. You mentioned Cowboy Camp. Had you ridden a horse before?
So I grew up with horses.
Okay.
My mom showed dressage, the whole thing.
But not cowboy.
No. My dad was a professional polo player. So he rode. My grandfather trained reining horses. And so it's very much in the blood.
Uh-huh.
And we grew up with horses, but all of us kids wanted nothing to do with riding growing up. I think because our parents were so into it, they were like, you're going to love this. You're going to like it. Here's your horse. It just pushed us in a different direction.
Sure.
It wasn't until, but I had ridden. And when I got the audition, I went and found a stable in Fort Worth, Texas, and did a lot of training myself because I knew I can actually credit my wife for this. So got the audition, and I was like, my God, everyone in the world is going to be reading for this part.
Mm.
How on earth, why would they choose me?
Hey, buddy. What's got you so down?
Hey, Court. I'm looking for a gift, but I just don't know what to get my Gettys nerd friends and family.
It sounds like we need to have a talk. Come on. You love this place, don't you?
You bet I do. It's my favorite place in the world.
Well, you see, at Addressing Gettysburg, it's our mission to keep these stories alive.
How do we do that?
I'm glad you asked, sport. You see, Gettysburg is the gateway to the most brutal and crucial time in American history, so we interview experts, and our listeners learn with us.
That sounds amazing.
Mike, are you f***ing serious?
What? It's for the commercial. What benefits do patrons get?
You mean besides up to 4 premium episodes per month and Matt being the bee's knees as host? How about early access to special episodes, behind-the-scenes insights, and discounts for ticketed events?
Whoa! None of the other history channels I follow do that for their listeners.
That's because Addressing Gettysburg doesn't take its listeners for granted and really cares about us learning American history.
You know, I should gift my Gettys nerd friends and family an Addressing Gettysburg Patreon membership.
You see, the answer was right under your nose the entire time.
Make Addressing Gettysburg's Patreon a gift for the Gettys nerd in your family this holiday season. Addressing Gettysburg wants you to learn about the Civil War with us, and we need your support. We'll run this ad until it gets annoying, and then we'll run it until you become a patron at patreon.com/addressinggettysburg or by scanning the QR code on your screen. Happy holidays.
The hill are we staring at?
No idea.
What can I do to stand out, to be different? And my wife was like, why don't you ride a horse in the audition? Like, ride up on a horse and then start it. I was like, you're brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah.
None of those LA actors are going to have access to horses, and it'll at least get his attention. So that's what I did. I opened my audition with, you just see me coming up over this hill, like riding a horse. And then I stop in front of the camera, I hop off, I slate, name and everything. And then I cut right from there into the scenes. And Taylor said that is the only reason he watched my tape, because it caught his attention. Because, you've got the most famous human beings in the world's kids auditioning for this role. You've got CAA's top clients, like everyone, people with very sellable names were up for this part. And so network, of course, gives them their top 10 choices, and they're all going to be these box office names. And then I'm like number 11. And he's like watching through. He's like, the only reason I stopped to watch your scenes is because you did that on that horse. And then I happened to, nail the scene the way he imagined it. But
and you owe your wife big time.
I know.
Over and over again. You just like the rest of your life, you got to thank her.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Would you say that 1883 was like your big break, as they say?
Yes, definitely the biggest. I've had different pops in the industry. Coming off of 13 on Broadway was a really big one for me, because that show got signed with the biggest managers and agents, and everyone saw it. And so I went to LA with like these star dream hopes, and didn't happen. But that show had a nice pop for me, and like did different moments. I actually won a Daytime Emmy Award for supporting actor. That was like a cool little pop, but nothing compares to what 1883 did for me.
Sure.
And it's another testament to streaming. Yes, maybe I didn't make as much money doing the show as I would have if it was on CBS primetime. Do we still make great money? Absolutely. But what it did exposure-wise was 100x what any network television show could have done. Everyone in the world, and it's streaming in like 1 million countries.
Yeah.
And so that show opened up more doors for me than the 20 years of acting I had done previously in overnight.
Have you done any of the other shows that Taylor Sheridan's done since then?
No, I haven't. I was very, very, very close on 2 of them. Ultimately went to the other person that I was up against on both. But he's, it's going to be something. It's going to be something, but it hasn't yet. But I have done 1883 was my first Western. Since then, I've done a lot.
You like Westerns? I
love them, and they keep calling. And as long as they're calling and the script is cool, I'm going to do it.
What is it that you like about them so much?
Well, I just love getting to be around horses and riding.
So now you do love horses.
Love. Okay, so that was the thing. I didn't get to that point. So it wasn't until Cowboy Camp that I realized how much I am in love with this culture and this lifestyle. And I remember calling both my parents, being like, I am so sorry. The fact I wasn't into this growing up, I don't know what I was like. I am in love. Mm-hmm. And it's been so cool for them to see me get that love and that like deep, relationship with the culture on my own, through my own lens, on my own. And so that was kind of the most special.
That's usually what we all have to come to it on our own.
Yeah. Right? They can beat you over the head, but
then it just feels like a chore.
Yeah.
But then sometimes life leads you to it and you go, that's what it is. I've always loved horses, and I haven't ridden in years, and it really drives me nuts because there's horses all over the place here. Like everybody has, I just driving home, I drive past all these horse farms and everything, but nobody lets you ride. Like you can't just go and rent a horse somewhere like you used to be able to. Like you used to be able to do that a lot. Can't do it anymore. Drives me nuts.
See, the beauty of living in Fort Worth, Texas, the cutting horse capital of the world is in Weatherford, Texas, where we shot a lot. That's where Taylor Sheridan lives. Mm-hmm. And all of these amazing ranches there, once the show aired, was like, will you come ride my horses? Like, you're welcome anytime you want. These $250,000 cutting horses, you please come ride our horses. And so I don't own any of my own, but I can ride every single day by the most amazing people of Weatherford. I've got this Rick and Shelley Mowry, cowboys. She's a cowgirl Hall of Famer, like legendary in the Western world. They're in the cutting horse world, which is a sport in horse riding. Mm-hmm. And they've taken me under their wing. They've trained me. I'm now an avid cutting horse guy. I've won belt buckles.
Really?
Celebrity cutting competition. I took first place. Like, it's become a world that I'm obsessed with. And they've opened up their ranches and horses to me, so I get to ride there all the time. So
that's
it's kind
awesome.
of best of both worlds.
Yeah. That and what a great hobby to become obsessed with.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's better than Heroin.
And exactly, it is that adrenaline you get, truly. But now since then, all these Westerns are calling, and gotten to play the bad guys, gotten to play the good guys. I'm just really getting to, play all the characters I've ever wanted to play in a Western. And every single one, you have to be really good at riding horses. Sure. And so it's just a plus.
And you have to look good on a horse too.
You got to at least pretend like you are supposed to be on that horse.
Yeah.
A lot of times people stop me on the street and it's like, I thought you were a lot taller on camera. Like you look, I'm like, it's just because I'm always on a horse.
Right. Everybody's tall on a horse.
Yeah.
How many Westerns have you done?
Okay. It's funny though. So a handful, and I'm going to try to talk through them all, but it's really cool because James Landry Hebert, who played Wade on 1883, he was my cowboy counterpart, and I have done now 5 together since the show.
Okay.
So any script I get that they want me to be involved with that I love, the first thing I say is, James needs to play this guy. I need James in this movie. And so they don't bat an eye if, James is available. So we've gotten to do 1883. We've gotten to do Cottonmouth, which is having its world premiere at the Round Top Film Festival in Texas in December. Then it'll be out after that. We've gotten to do Trail of Vengeance, which is out on Apple, on Amazon. Amazing, true Civil War story, actually. A lot of people don't know about this, but in the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln appointed this group of spies, which they called the Woods, to infiltrate the South, to act as one of them, to gather intel, to be able to report it back. And this movie's about that secret group of spies.
But you're on the wrong side of history, you said.
Yes, I get to be a really bad guy.
You're a reb.
Yeah, I'm a bad guy in that one, but it's a great movie.
Do you like bad guys or good guys better?
I really like bad guys.
Yeah, everybody says that. Yeah, it's got to be fun.
It is. It's so fun because it's so just not you, and you get to just be everything you hate in somebody. All those things that drive you nuts. Like I'm pulling from all the people in my life that just, the bullies and this guy that, I never liked you, but you're really helping me right now because I'm channeling you.
Right.
It's really, really, really fun. And we did another one called The Wolf and the Lamb, which will be coming out soon. And we just got another one. I just got another one that'll be shooting up in Montana this spring. And I just did my famous, you need James in this movie pitch. And so I'm hoping they get him on that one too.
We're going to Montana in the summer. I'm looking forward to that. You also have a podcast.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I have a podcast called The Glamour and Grit that I do with my wife. And we started it. We got the idea because when I was shooting 1883, the best thing to happen in my career and to, my passion in my life as an actor, like this was the top of the top. But while that amazing thing was going on, I would come home to the worst possible situation. My son was just born. He was extremely sick. He was dying. We didn't know what was wrong with him. Doctors were telling us all these things. And so I'm having to juggle this like amazing thing, but coming home to hell and having to separate that. And that has happened to me more times than I can count in the industry. And so we're like, my God, we've got to talk about this. Like how do professionals in any industry that are, battling with real life shit go and put on a fake face and do what they have to do and just, the struggles of life.
What do you think it is?
I don't think there's an answer, but, we talk about what helps in the moment, like, how you get through it. And my son's perfectly fine now, by the way.
Yeah.
We figured out what it was. It's called pyloric stenosis. It was like this blockage of the esophagus. So his food, he wasn't getting nourishment.
Oh.
He just kept spitting everything out. And they were like, oh, he's lactose intolerant. Oh, he's got acid reflux. Oh, well, we tried all these medicines. Finally.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
one surgery, it's like a golf ball size blockage, but finally one surgery and he was like better overnight. But it's the twists and turns, and we're just talking about it on camera. So it's a lot of like millennial young parent stuff, just battling. We do a lot of interview stuff too with different actors and musicians and all walks of life. And we get to the gritty shit. You know, it looks like everyone's got this glamour, but we really get to the grit.
I like the idea of that. Yeah.
And you hear how people deal with it differently.
Right.
You know,
Right.
what worked for me, we've got an amazing episode with Jen Landon, who plays Teeter on Yellowstone. And she's such an open soul, and she's got so much.
She really talk like that?
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
She's an awesome actor. But she really opened up about a lot of shit. And, we all deal with things differently, but it's served as a helpful tool with navigating that by just getting it out there and talking through it. And so it's been really fun. It's like therapy for my wife and I to do the podcast.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's free.
And it's free.
Right. You just, you got to pay a producer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got
it's almost free.
Sponsors,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you get sponsors, right. So you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is therapeutic. I do these things where I live stream a drive around the battlefield on YouTube usually, and I end up talking with the audience through the comments. They'll comment and stuff, but I find it to be very therapeutic because sometimes they don't really have much to say, but I got to keep something going, right? So I just start talking, and if there's something really on the forefront of my mind, I'm like, F it, let's just do it. I'll start bitching about something, and some people are like, bitch is too much. Well, there's a lot to bitch about. But like at the end of it, I go, that feels good.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll delete it because I'm like, that was a little too personal,
And that was the thing too. We were like, if we're going to do this, we're going to be raw and we're going to be vulnerable and we're going to show people who we are. They got this image and they see this and they see that. But at the end of the day, we're two young parents trying to navigate both being full-time working, people with two young kids and the ups and downs and the crazy shit of it. So we put it all out there.
No, and that's good though. It's very interesting because you're right. Like most people don't, they know the celebrities, they may know who they're married to, they may know a little this, a little bit of that, but they really don't know. It always looks great.
Yeah.
Because they think rich, famous, beautiful.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? And as you're saying, a lot is going very wrong while you're working on 1883, greatest opportunity of your life thus far. Mm-hmm. And how do you, Jesus Christ, the stress of that, you're thinking of your son, right?
Yeah.
And you put in a wallop of a performance like you did. I don't know, how did you do it? Like, do you know, have you thought about that? Like, how were you able to do that? Because I would be like, guys, I can't do shit. I have to be with my baby.
Yeah.
All I would be able to think about would be that.
Yeah. Thank God. The biggest blessing out of all of it, we were living in Fort Worth, Texas. They didn't know I was living in Fort Worth when I booked this show. I sent my tape to LA. When I found out it was shooting in Fort Worth and I knew my son was going to be born during filming, I got to be like, there was no like, God, I hope I can make my flight in time for the birth. I got to go home every single night. Had this been shooting in Montana that whole time, all that time my wife was struggling at home, I wouldn't have been able to come home every night.
Yeah.
So I got to be there, which to me was the biggest blessing. And that saved me a lot of anxiety and stress. Just, even though it was hell, I was there. And I could at least feel while I was at home at nighttime, I could be of service and try to do what I can, as opposed to being completely removed and separated. I mean, picture it, my wife home postpartum, she's like depressed as shit because she doesn't know what's going on with the kids. She just had him. I'm gone on set kissing this beautiful blonde girl on top of it. Like, she's fucking spiraling over here.
Oh God.
So we talk a lot about that too. And like how she navigates that, through the industry and stuff. Cause it's not normal what I'm doing for a job. Even though she's an actress, she's more on the voiceover side. She does animation, cartoon voiceover acting, and theater, which is still different. So it was just a lot. But somehow was able to compartmentalize it. When I was there, I was, just trying to be as present as I can be. I always, I made sure my wife had everyone's phone numbers on set. God forbid she needed to get a hold of me immediately, whatever. But I knew they were just down the road. So it alleviated a lot of stress. But of course it was still just stressful time.
Are you a religious guy?
I am. So that helped too.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, a prayer is prayer. Like you're not solving anything. You're just kind of
just giving you strength.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe, because you mentioned that there have been some struggles that have occurred at these big moments in your life that are positive moments, they're kind of tinged a little bit with some personal struggle or problem or whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's kind of God's way of keeping you humble? Because you're a pretty humble guy. I mean, if I were on a successful show like 1883 and won all these awards and keep getting roles and everything like that, I don't know how humble I'd be. You're a very friendly guy. So you think that might be what it is?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I also think it's the flip side where, you know, all the success happens. But you know, the devil's still trying to pull you down in a way. Like you're constantly reminded of, yes, it's here, but you can't take this for granted because shit's happening, life is happening, and you can be pulled down so fast.
Yeah.
So I always try to, you know, keep that in the back of my mind too. Like, yeah, God's humbling you, but also someone else is trying to pull you back for, like, you're getting pulled down also for a reason. Like, and so, you know, I think about that a lot as I navigate the industry. And you know, it doesn't hurt to be nice and be kind and just be good, you know. Yeah. And so that I try to just focus on that. There's enough assholes in the world, and
certainly are. Okay, but it's got to be a very tough thing to be religious in that industry.
Yeah, there's not a lot of support for it, for sure.
Do you feel like you have to keep that to yourself?
You know, religion, politics, all these things, I do tend to avoid conversations on at work and in the industry and on social media and stuff, just because, you know, people are so opinionated and they care so much. And, you know, what we have in our home, you know, works for us. And we're just, you know, at the end of the day, trying to be the best people we can be. And so we focus on that, and I do try to keep it separated. I've now opened up, though. I think now that I'm older and more mature, and you know, I'm much more open now on social media stuff in terms of my religion and posting about that sort of stuff. Actually, I'm reoccurring on a TV show called The Chosen, which is on Amazon.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's a story of Jesus, and it's now I'm on character on season 6. But it's globally the most watched show in the world right now, and hugely successful. And since getting on that show, that was the first show that I was on that was show run by, you know, like, he's very Christian. Dallas Jenkins is, you know, he's telling the story of Jesus, but that is very much his beliefs as well. You know, and that opened up my eyes a lot, because like he would even start mornings with prayer and all these things in the 20 plus years I've been doing this, I've never experienced. And it was so uplifting and refreshing for me. And, you know, just this, you know, it opened up my eyes to just, I don't know, just being accepting of it, but also like bringing that into my work life. It kind of just crossed that line, like it blurred the boundaries. And so since I started that show, it had a lot to do with how I'm just very open about it on set now. And, you know, I'm not pressing it down anybody's throat, but if we talk about it, or, you know, you see me praying before I start eating my food or something, like, you know, I'm not keeping it to myself. Like I am who I am. And
what denomination are you?
Catholic.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a lazy Catholic.
And, you know, it's yeah, you know, but the core beliefs are there. And, you know, you just, it's unfortunate that, you know, the industry is not more, you know, open to religion and that sort of thing, but everyone to each his own.
Well, it is, but the weird ones.
Yeah. But I have found, since doing Westerns, something about the Western culture and the South and all of that. It's a lot more open and accepting. Yeah,
I was going to say.
And I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. And also there is, it seems to me that, I mean, the internet just blew everything up, right? And nothing is the same anymore. And Hollywood is one of those things. I think, and it was just so big that I think it's taking a long time to realize it's dying, and by suicide, I think, like more than anything. But in the meantime, the internet has made it possible for different types of film companies to come out and find their own audience and produce material for them I'm thinking Christian music and films, and you see more of that nowadays. Once in a while, one of those productions will sneak on to something like Netflix or Prime, but I don't think they need those as much anymore because they can find their own audience. And I think in my fantasy land mind, the movies in the future are going to have their own streaming site. Like, you make a movie and you set up a website, people go, it's like a pay-per-view thing. Don't need theaters anymore. You don't need to find a distributor. You're your own distributor. That's the way I think it should go. If someone would give me the money to produce a film, I will try this out and prove to you that it'll work.
I like that.
Yes, that's the way I think it needs to go, because everything is becoming balkanized in media, it seems. You can, if you have a political persuasion on this side, you can find several news channels that agree with you, and they'll give you the news in a way that you can palate, right? And then it's same on the other side. So like everything is, I can get into an echo chamber, I can get into my niche and whatever. But yes, the Western crew seems to be a different group of people, because I think at the heart of it, they love the American experience. They love the uniqueness of the westward expansion and the story that comes along with it. It's definitely been romanticized over the years, but they just have a love and appreciation of that. And also, if you ride a 1,200-pound beast every day and live, you better believe there's a God.
I love that you said that. That is so funny and so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're thanking somebody at the end of that day.
Yeah. Because that thing still has a mind of its own.
Yeah. No, but you nailed it on the head, man. It's so true, and it's so refreshing. And so, for all those reasons, and getting to feel like a little kid every day when I show up on a Western, I put on the chaps and the spurs and the gun belt.
It's my dream come true. Since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be in a Western.
And my favorite part, the filming, of course, all that, but like the favorite part of the prep is when you go into that costume room, office, whatever it might be, and pick that hat. Mm-hmm. That hat to me is what says it all.
That's who you are. That hat makes you the character.
And there's only so much you can do with a brim and a hat, but God, there's a lot of variations in there.
Yes.
And when you finally get the one that you look in the mirror and you're like, this is the character, that moment to me is one of the coolest things in the whole process.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that a lot. Do you have a preference of what style of hat you like to wear?
It's always different, especially now because I'm, got the bad guys now going on, plus the good guys. It's definitely always different. But no matter what, that thing better be tight to your head, because no cowboy drops his hat while riding a horse.
That's right.
Even though that thing is trying to fly off your head at all moments.
Yeah.
But no, 1883 was that very flat brim. No
sombrero almost.
Yeah, it had that, and it worked perfectly for him. He wasn't showy. He was just very brink and brink. Nothing too special.
Probably didn't have a lot of money, young Ennis.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So he had to wear what he had to wear.
Probably had to pull it off. Guy who passed away before him somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Found it on a dead guy.
Yeah, this will work better than the shirt I've been wearing on my head.
Exactly.
So. So no, it's always different. It's like, I'll be into one for this and then completely different for the next.
Kent, do you like coffee?
I love it.
Do you like Gettysburg?
I love it.
Well, you should try Little Ground Top, which is probably the greatest coffee ever to come out of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It's roasted right here. Bantam Roasters down across from the Dobbin House on Steinmore Avenue? Sure. Well, this is where we get it from. They roast it, and some days I go in there for my morning cup of coffee, and there's smoke coming out of the smokestack, and I go and I get a big snort of it, and it smells like roasted coffee beans. Of course, it makes me cough, but it's also really delicious smelling, as this is too. You can smell it in here, right? Ken, it is probably something that has made more people happy in the last year since we've had it out than anything else. Including one of our listeners is a lottery winner, and he said when he had his first sip of this, it made him happier than when he won the lottery. So good for him, right?
Must be damn good.
It's fantastic. I'm telling you, it's like a winning lottery ticket in your mouth with every sip. So you can get it at Bantam Roasters down at 82 Steinway Avenue here in Gettysburg, or going to addressinggettysburg.com/cafe. Here's a bag for you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
You're very welcome.
It's been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks.
You're right, though. One of the things, like with Tombstone, that I still see. There's this. I don't know. It's a channel I follow on Instagram. They're like, it's like Wild Hat Country or something like that. They're out of Kentucky, and they like make custom hats and stuff, like cowboy hat type stuff.
Cool.
They're very good.
I've got a Western clothing company, by the way.
Do you?
That I forgot to tell you about.
What's the name of it?
Stockyard Supply Co.
I think I've seen that.
And we do pearl snaps and vests and jackets and hats and all sorts of fun
Really?
stuff. But yeah, while we were talking about hats, it was like, oh wait, I gotta get you a shirt.
I would, yeah. I might have to go and look and see what you got, because we're gonna start doing a lot of videos next year. And I'm like, I was saying to the guys, I'm like, I need to have a look, because I just look like a frumpy old middle-aged guy right now. But I think we can, like, if I go to the gym and we find a style, something probably like, that you would get at Cabela's or, something like that, nothing fancy. I'm not a fancy guy, but, something like, but I had thought of looking into Western type stuff.
We got some really cool pearl snaps.
I will see. I don't know. You think I'm a pearl snap kind of guy?
I think you'd surprise yourself.
I think I would.
I think you would surprise yourself, and ours fit incredibly, and it's like that light, breathable material. So you're not like feeling heavy in it for sure. And
you got hats too.
Yeah, we've got hats, we've got vests, we got this really cool Western bomber jacket that I love, like kind of a field jacket type.
Yeah.
So we got some.
Okay. Maybe you'd be interested in being a sponsor of our new shows.
You never know.
I'll have to tell you about them, and you might be like, actually, you know what? I would like to sponsor that.
Same.
For $1 million. All right. So the name of the podcast is The Glamour and Grit.
Yes.
And it is with you and your wife. People can get that everywhere, anywhere.
Everywhere, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We drop episode every Tuesday.
YouTube?
Yep.
Okay. Stockyard Supply Company is your clothing line, I guess?
Yeah. You can find it at stockyardsupplyco.com.
And what is the next production that people should be looking for coming out with you in it?
Coming out, well, so we've got this Gettysburg movie that we're filming, got 2 more I'm doing right after this, but probably releasing next. If you haven't seen Trail of Vengeance, go watch that, because that just came out on.
That's the Civil War one.
Yes. If you like Westerns, it's on Apple and Amazon. I've got a scary creature feature coming out.
Really?
Called The Yeti.
The Yeti.
And it was just screened up in Toronto Film Festival, and it is like, if you like 80s. Like The Thing, creature feature, if you will freak for this movie. I know it's a niche genre, so if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But that'll probably be the next thing releasing, and that'll be a biggie.
So you have 10 producer credits on IMDb. What do you like doing better, acting or producing?
Acting. I only started producing because you get to hire all your best friends and work with people you love. I was like, wait, so as a producer, so you bring it all together, which means you can choose who's going to be in the movie with you. And then you're just spending a month with all your best friends, making a great product, knowing the outcome is going to be amazing. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to produce.
So an executive producer is responsible for the money, correct?
Yes, often, most times.
The producer is then the guy who gets to spend that money.
Yes.
But you got to get the executive's approval.
Yes.
So if he doesn't like one of your friends, then the answer is no, you can't work with your friends, but you could majority work with your friends, people you want to work with.
Yeah. Most of the producing I've done, I've executive produced. So then I can kind of have my hand in all that.
So does that mean you put up the money or you find the money? Or both?
Or it could be either or.
Yeah.
For me, it was more finding fundraising and, going out and seeing who wants to be part of a really cool project. And there's a lot of people out there that are sick of, made all this money in other industries and they're bored. And they're like, what are we going to do? Like, film industry is kind of fun and cool. You can get involved if you want. And people love it.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. Acting is my thing. That's what I want to do. I've just done the producing on the side because I don't enjoy free time, I guess. I just want to fill every moment with something else to do.
I get that. Look, you're only young and full of energy for a very short period of time. And sooner or later, you're just not going to want to. Yeah. You're just going to want to go and sit on your lazy boy.
I'm almost like ready to feel that.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And that's when it starts. It's 34, 35.
Yeah.
So wait with 10 years and you're going to be like, yeah, no, I'm done. I don't want to do that. What do they say? Your give a fuck gets up and goes away after 40.
Nice.
And it's the most liberating, greatest thing in the world.
That's awesome.
To just not give a fuck anymore.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my God. And apparently it gets better with each passing decade after 40. So I mean, geez, by the time, if I make it to 70, let's say, I won't care about anything.
Which, did you just hear? Diane Keaton just died.
I did hear that. Actually, yes. Right before I picked you up.
Yeah.
79.
79. Okay. God. Something about it, like that just came out of the blue for me.
Well, I remember when Frank Sinatra died. That was shocking to me. Now, I was only 18, 19 when he died, something like that. But my whole life, I mean, he was always that old guy, who was on all the shows and everything like that. And it wasn't until I was about 18 or 19, a little before he died, that I realized that he actually was a young man at one point. And then I started to listen to his music. And then I discovered Dean Martin and all these guys. And I was like, oh man, what a great, whatever. But it began the, in my mind at least, the end of that generation. They started falling off. In my family, my grandmother died, I think, the year before he did. I had another one died 2 years before that. And then my grandfather's died, and, within 10 years after he died. And that one by one, that generation started going. So like Diane Keaton, that's my parents' generation. Mm. And so when these people like Diane Keaton and stuff start dying, I go, oh God, it's their turn.
Not a fun headspace.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's just life. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But you see, as a fan of movies, these people never age until you find out they're 79 years old when they die. And you're like, how did she get that old? I just saw her in Annie Hall, and she was,
Yeah.
So and that's the cool thing about film and television and everything is that, these people are timeless, but it's also the kind of fucked up part about it is we're not, I don't think we're supposed to know that we were once young. You know what I mean? To be able to see or to watch people in full motion and living color, singing, dancing, doing whatever it was that they did, and they're dead. I don't think that's a natural thing for the human psyche.
Dang.
I think that's why we're all crazy in a way.
That's why we're all so crazy.
It started with that, and then it went to social media.
Faults. It's all the movie industry.
It's the movie industry's fault. It drove us all nuts.
God. And then you got Dick Van Dyke, who's about to be 100 and still fucking tap dancing. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know, and it's just so funny how
part of my language, by the way.
Well, I was doing it too. Part of mine.
This is what happens to me when I get on set every time, because at home there is we are censored, and I'm a good Christian boy. I don't no, but you get on set and you get loose, you're excited, the adrenaline's going. So I don't know if you curse on this podcast or not. I apologize if you don't, but
I did it like 5 times.
Okay, good.
Normally I don't, but for some reason I feel I can do that with you.
Yeah, see, you made me feel the same.
Yeah, we can curse.
It's our flannel shirts together.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Flannel, fall, and movie sets kind of bring it out.
Yeah. That's true.
Because you know why? When I'm around creative people, that's where I feel at home. And there's not a ton of them around here, or around me. And there's a few. But when we get together and just act like idiots, right? That's when I feel like I'm with my people, I'm with my tribe.
Yeah.
And when, just walking down on the set there, normally, you walk in the middle of that road, you get run over. But now it was like a different world. And it's kind of walled off from everybody else and everything. And there's an energy to a place like that. And with all the trucks with the different departments and what they, and it makes you feel open. And sometimes an F-bomb slips out.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'm exhausted. So then I curse more, whatever, but who cares?
It happens.
It does happen.
And that feeling too, that when you walk on that set and like that energy, like that never goes away. Every set, that first step, like just walking down that dirt road today, I'm like, I'm in this. Yeah. This is all for, like, I'm a part of this.
Right.
I
get to play here.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't diminish. I feel my most at home when I'm on a set or I'm on stage, like just instantly, like I was just so happy. And I hope I never lose that.
Well, I don't think you will. And I think that story you told about Sam Elliott before proves it is, he's saying we're all nervous.
Oh, yeah.
He's 80 years old, isn't he?
Yeah.
What the hell's he got to be nervous about? Like, he's done it all.
Right.
His give a is 40 years past gone.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But he still gets nervous.
Yeah.
Because it's important to him. And it is such a, and this is the thing I did a live video from the set before I picked you up. And somebody was making fun of how on the movies, like Instagram channel or whatever, they posted some video or photos or something. And
Gettysburg?
Your movie.
It has an Instagram account?
I think it does.
Oh, dang, I haven't even seen yet.
Or no, it's the Gettysburg Film Commission, which is Bo and Chris run that.
Oh, okay.
And so they're just using that to promote that we're making a film here in Gettysburg. Anyway, they posted some pictures, and the Civil War nerds were like picking it apart. And it was just pictures of the set. And they're like, there's a window unit in that one building. And it's like, there's a central air unit over there. It's like, that wasn't here in 1863. And it's like, but no, we're showing you the set. Like, they're not going to shoot that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're just shooting this part. And we were making fun of that. And I go, I sometimes I can't tell if people are just busting balls or if they really are that dumb. And you could always tell because they go, it always starts with, why don't they just ... whatever they think it should be. But they have never tried to do a movie.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work, and it's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
And it's boring, but it's exciting because you're creating something and no one may ever see it, but you may one day go and watch it and go, I did that. I was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a record that I lived and worked. And not everybody gets to say that. Most people don't. And it's a blessing. Like a lot of people say, oh, you're so lucky you get to do this. You're blessed that you get to do it.
Yeah.
Because, there will be a legacy of Eric Nelsen one day, besides your children, that the world can look at and go, oh, so man, I can't believe he died at 89 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then some two idiots will be sitting in a studio doing a podcast or whatever that version is then. And they'll be like, oh man, I can't believe Eric's gone. Like, he was like so iconic for my grandparents' generation. It's just life. That's how it goes. It's all cyclical.
Yeah.
Nothing's new under the sun. It's all the same. But it's a lot of fun. So let's talk real quick, and then we'll go and see what they're shooting.
Yeah, because we got to get on set.
Yeah, we got to. Well, we got time before you need to be there, but they're not going to be done. They'll never be ready for you.
They're blowing stuff up.
They're blowing stuff up, so we want to go see that. But Gettysburg, 1863. Who do you play?
So I play Thomas. He's a young Union soldier that at the top of the movie is about to go to war. He's basically saying goodbye to his girlfriend, love of his life, who they're planning on getting married. And very emotional beginning. I go to war. I become a prisoner of war. And it's basically my journey of escaping the prison and making it back home to my girlfriend by Christmas. And it shows a lot of the war. Abraham Lincoln, of course, is in it, and it dives into a bunch of elements of Gettysburg, and all of the notes you want hit in this film are going to get hit. But it's a nice twist on it because it wraps it up in a bow. And it's a love story under all of the intensity that's happening.
So it's not a Christmas movie. I think a lot of people are, for a while, were thinking this is a Gettysburg Christmas 2, but it's not. This is really it ends at Christmas. So It's not even taking place during Christmas.
No, it's not. But, that it is the season. And, I think that the Christmas element we're so attached to it emotionally, Christmas, and it's the happiest time of the year for most people. Like, Scrooge over here might not agree, but in theory, the lights are twinkling everywhere. There's snow covered mountain, it's beautiful. It's scenic.
No, it's very idyllic.
It hits all the notes. And so I think that's just kind of this nice undertone of like, which just catapults us into, the intensity of the war and all the stuff. And then you get back there and you're able to catch your breath again. So it's, Christmas in that aspect, but it's not like, your typical Christmas movie where, you're
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not the whole thing isn't Christmas from start to finish.
No, but
it's not Christmas Vacation 1863.
Right.
Unfortunately.
But you're going to be able to watch this at,
anytime.
12, 13 years old, and as an adult too. You know what I mean? Like we're not showing just people's getting heads blown off. It's not like a gory.
Right.
So it's got that aspect, which is it can almost watch with the whole family once they're like a young teenager, I would say. So that's nice. That's refreshing. We need that right now,
I agree. So you already shot some stuff down in Texas.
No, we were going to, because part of the reason we're shooting right now for just these few days, and then the rest of it's all being done in January, is because I've got to do some river crossing stuff when I escape. Really cool scene. I'm like running from, I just escaped the prison. They're shooting at me. I dive into the water and bullets are, going through the water. But he was, God bless Bo for not making me go through the river in January. He's like, well, let's at least get that scene done.
Yeah.
In October before everything freezes completely.
Right.
So we're going to do that now. We were going to do it in Texas.
Where are you shooting that?
Somewhere around here.
Oh, okay. I think I know where.
Yeah. And so since we're doing that, he was able to tack on a couple more scenes to just knock them out.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, really the whole thing behind it was let's let Eric go in the water in October, not January.
Yeah.
Which that never happens.
Right.
It is what it is.
As you go when you go.
You just freaking suffer. But good old Bo's got a heart on him.
He does. He's not a bad guy. How'd you meet Bo?
A movie that I shot in Houston a handful of years ago called it's called Crossroads.
Okay.
It's called Crossroads. It's out. You can see it Amazon, Apple, all the things. He worked on that.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember when he was down there he was doing props or something, right?
Yeah. He didn't direct it, but he was, I forget what his role was.
I remember him telling me that he met you. Yes.
And he remembered me. And when this movie came up, he called me and he's like, I'd love you to do my movie. You're perfect for the male lead. Read it and let me know what you think. I read it and I loved it. And I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I just pray it's going to work out schedule-wise because I have, these other things all lined up. And it somehow, I left a film in Houston. The very next day I flew here. As soon as I leave here, I've got 3 days back at home before I go start a movie in New York for 4 weeks. So it sandwiched itself. And January is going to be fine because the industry's always dead in January. Yeah. Nothing happens. So very smart of him to shoot the rest in January. It's not going to be a problem.
It's dead around here in January too.
Okay.
So that would be perfect.
Yeah. But those October days I was like really worried about. It wasn't going to work time-wise. But it all somehow...
So I always wondered this, and then we'll go. When you're doing Western, do you wear modern underwear or do you wear the underwear they wore?
You wear the underwear they wore.
You do?
Yep.
Is that comfortable or uncomfortable in when you're riding a horse?
Nothing. I don't care if you had gold silk around your you-know-what. Nothing is comfortable riding a saddle that is period appropriate.
That's true. The period appropriate ones. Yeah.
Oh, you are. Yeah. It is like just fiberglass, hard, like a plank of wood.
They look cooler, but they're not more comfortable.
No, they're not. No. So, yeah, when we first started, we would have these little kind of like butt pads we wear under it just because there was so much riding we had to do. And even with that, we were blistered, bloody, and bruised. Like you
get used to that though, don't you?
You do.
You get calloused after a while.
Calloused up. But picture these the girls like, for instance, that were playing like the immigrants, like skinny as a rail. There's no cushion on that booty. And they're just on those saddles, pounding their booty away, like rubbing against these 1800, like not forgiving saddles.
No.
They'd like be tiptoeing and like they need ice for their...
It's no joke, man. Like it hurts. That's why cowboys walk that way.
That's why.
This is on the saddle all day.
Yeah.
It had to be. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But nothing like feeling the power of that beast at a full gallop between your legs as you're just running across a wide open field or something like that. Like it's just nothing like it.
That's the best.
Nothing like it.
And how they got those shots too. They'd like have these crazy contraptions that like had these like custom like golf cart on steroids that were electric because you didn't want to hear them or anything, and that the cameras were all connected to and could fly through the field in front of you as you're like, riding fast towards it, and different, drones all over the place. And, it was cool, but the horses have to get used to it too.
Yes.
Cause that's all, foreign territory. And so we had to have days where it's just like acclimating them to what's about to happen around them and all that sort of stuff.
What an experience that's got to be. Very, very blessed young man you are. And probably the greatest thing since 1883 for you has been being on this show. And I thank you very much for coming on and giving me your time.
I can finally retire.
Yeah, you can.
I've been waiting for this.
This is where you're going to make it. People are going to see this, and then the big break is really going to come.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's going to be, but whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening or watching, and we hope you enjoyed this little peek into not a Gettysburg Christmas. It's Gettysburg 1863. It is October of 2025, and production has begun already. More coming in January, and we hopefully will bring you more hard-hitting interviews like this one in January. Eric, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you, brother. It was a pleasure.
It really was for me. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you all later.
I took your line, didn't I? Were you going to say pleasure?
I was, yes.